Big news today for Florida State. I've got the Battles and quarter zip on, and they've got another commitment here in the 2025 class. They have been super hot. They have been on fire recruiting here lately with multiple commits and more expected. But today they are bringing in a tight end, a position that Mike Norvell does like to utilize, and I think they've got a really good one. Let's talk about him. Chase Loftin. He's a 6'5", 6'5.5", 215-ish pounds out of Omaha, Nebraska. I guess winning baseball games isn't the only thing that happens there in Omaha. A 4-star tight end. He's a top 300 player on the On3 industry rankings. He's a 4-star there. Then he's a top 400 player on the 247 composite, a 4-star there as well. You went toe-to-toe here with Nebraska, the hometown team. You went toe-to-toe with Texas A&M, with Missouri, all places he took official visits to over the last month. In fact, on Wednesday the 26th was the last time that I looked at it. You had an 87% chance to go to Nebraska, according to the On3 RPM machine. Less than 2% to go to Florida State. And in multiple times this cycle, Florida State has now busted that RPM machine. The guys over there at On3 who do a good job probably need to tinker with it for the Mike Norvell and Ingram Smith effect. Let's talk about the kid a little bit. Great size. Obviously his frame, his size, his wingspan, all of that stuff, really, really impressive. He's a big kid who you think will get into Coach Storm's program and only put on more good muscle, more good size. At 6'5"-ish, 6'5.5", maybe pushing 6'6" if he grows any more over this senior season, he absolutely has the kind of frame that can play at the next level and play well into a really good NFL system that utilizes the tight end, not only here at the Power 5 level, Power 4 level, I guess at this point, but also, potentially in the NFL later on. He's got good hands. You certainly see areas where he can improve in his game. You want to get him a little bit better of a route runner. He does kind of run like a wide receiver. I think he moves extremely well. Like to see the quickness pick up just a little bit, but at his size, he is absolutely going to be a weapon here at this level in the ACC and beyond. Hopefully he's not playing in the ACC his entire career. Certainly don't think so. Blend a little conference realignment and recruiting together. But his size, he does a pretty good job doing the dirty work, getting downfield, blocking a little bit, chipping when needed, coming off the edge, showing you his highlights. I think he is a really, really good prospect that Florida State did a good job to go and get here. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. Big shout out to Chris Thompson, back-to-back years with really good tight end pickups. Obviously, Landon last year was a 5-star type talent. Would have been a 5-star had he stayed committed to UGA. And so you pull that, and then you pull now a kid out of Nebraska, and then you went to head-to-head with Texas A&M and Missouri, a couple of SEC programs who have really, really impressive resources. And Texas A&M, does not mind overspending and spending too much for kids at times. And you went out and you went head-to-head with that and got it. You didn't even get the last visit. You got a visit in, early to mid-June, and you still were able to get this. The staff did a great job of keeping in communication here, keeping the pressure up, keeping in contact through those other visits, and landing a kid that many didn't think you were going to be able to get. I don't necessarily know that they're done at the tight end position. I think that you could see multiple in this class, but I think this is a credit to Florida State and their staff for keeping the pressure on and getting this done. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what this means, bigger picture stuff, but first I do want to give a little bit of love to garnetandgold.com. Listen, they were one of our very first partners that we had here on the channel. Obviously, Guthrie's is the OG, but we very much appreciate garnetandgold.com. If you are shopping in the Tallahassee area or online, make sure that you're going to Garnet and Gold. They are the absolute best when it comes to Florida State apparel, menswear, women's wear. If you're looking for stuff for your kids, Nike, Columbia, whatever you're looking for, the official jerseys, they've got it all, including the N7 jerseys that I know you guys love. Use the code NOSLAW, NOSLAW, for 15% off of your order there at garnetandgold.com. Now, again, the battle's end. You're not pulling a kid out of Nebraska and away from A&M without having a really strong NIL collective. So shout out those folks over there. Of course, we've got the Battles in Quarter Zip on while we record these commitment videos. A big shout out to Norvell. I think his use of the tight ends, what you saw out of Jaheim Bell scoring a couple of touchdowns early against LSU last year, the way that he continued to use Bell down the stretch and in a lot of games, the way that they've used Kyle Morlock, the way that they like to get Biscuit and other guys involved, I think that's a huge help to landing prospects like this. You don't get a Landon Thomas away from UGA, who UGA uses the tight end better than probably anybody in the country. You don't get a tight end away from them. You don't pull a big old country guy like Lofton out of Nebraska away from that hometown team with a renewed sense of energy under Matt Rule, and then obviously A&M and Missouri as well. You're not pulling those guys without being a really, really competitive offense that utilizes the tight end the right way. And Norvell certainly does that. The way that he isn't afraid to use the tight end at kind of a lost art in some offenses, is really, really impressive. And if you're a big enough frame, like if you're a big guy with a huge frame like Lofton has, you can go make a lot of money at the next level because you're just a matchup nightmare for opposing defenses. And does that mean he's going to win every battle? I'm not saying Lofton's a day one guy that just comes in here and absolutely blows everybody's socks off, but we'll see what his senior season looks like. We'll see kind of what he's able to do once he gets into the program. You've obviously got a line of guys that are really, really good that Florida State really likes at that tight end position, from Morlock right now to others on the roster, whether that be Preston, Preston moved on, but other guys on the roster that they really, really like. And then your freshmen, Landon Thomas and Lofton as well in this class. And so I'm excited to see kind of where this goes, what ends up happening with this. I like the pickup. I think it's really an impressive pickup that just adds to the class. Excited to see kind of where his rating goes throughout the year. He's all over the place. Certain places have him rated really high, other places not so high. So do we get some congruity there? Do we get some kind of like, just not so spastic, like super high on one, super low on the other? I'm not sure. I think his rating is going to be interesting to see over the next year or so before he gets to campus. But again, a big pickup for Mike Norvell, a big day for the Seminoles. We appreciate you guys for tuning in, being here with us as we talk about it. And again, shout out the Battles End. Make sure that you're a member if you're not already. Appreciate all the work that they do for our class and for FSU football. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Talk to you soon. Go Noles.